Don't even think about buying a house in today's economy without watching this video first. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Nigel, and I've been getting a lot of the same questions. Should I just wait? Should I not buy in today's economy? Well, with everything you got going on today, like unemployment rates, the coronavirus, the worldwide pandemic, the stock market is crashing. What do? How do you know what the answer is? Well, not everybody should be buying a home in today's time. And I'm sure you're probably also wondering, should you just wait till everything hits rock bottom because you imagine that the entire real estate economy is going to hit the bottom? Well, find out in 3 easy steps. Stay tuned. All right, tip number 1, that's don't be house poor. You never want to have a mortgage that makes you house poor. Let me explain to you what that means. So if you're paying all of your bills, including your car payment, PG&E, etc., and you have a mortgage, well, you can't afford to do anything else. That just sucks. That's living to be house poor. So what, you have a great, beautiful house. All right. So your first home generally is not your dream home, folks. You're generally 3 to 4 houses away from your dream home. So let's start with your first one. The key is to make sure that you can pay your bills and pay yourself. You want to make sure you have a savings set aside just in case the world decides to have a pandemic and you can't work. And that leads me to the second part of this. Can you still afford your mortgage when you have a loss or a decrease in income? You may have a 2-income household. Well, what if you decide to have kids? Daycare is not cheap. If someone is a non-essential employee, you've got a nurse or a police officer, and their husband or wife or partner is a bartender or works in a restaurant. Those are non-essential workers. So you need to make sure that you can save in times of plenty. That way, in a time like in today, due to the coronavirus, well, you've got something to hold you over, and you can still pay your bills even with unemployment. All right, now stay tuned for tip number 2. All right, we're at tip number 2. Know if you can afford your new home. Now, the first things first, you got to go see a local lender, i.e. Citizens Financial. Go check out Lizzie B. Hit her up on Instagram. Now, just so you know, before you start house hunting, or even any real estate agent will take you looking at homes, you got to have a pre-approval letter. They're not just going to take you around town for hours and days on end just to show you a property that you can't even qualify for. Now, you also need to find out what you qualify for on a monthly basis, because you need to know if, tip number 1, you are going to be house poor because you now have this monthly mortgage and it's going to be costing you more than you're paying now. That's not always the case, but just use that as an example. You want to make sure that all of your monthly bills you can afford, as well as any additional for savings or the additional cost of the new mortgage. Now, let me give you an example. If your current bills, including rent or mortgage, is $3,000, and we're talking PG&E, garbage, and your car payment, then you want to add $1,000 more to that just to own a home. Can you afford that? There's a really simple way that you can figure out if you can afford that or not. What you do is take the difference and you dump it into a savings account, something that's not already set up. Make it your new home savings account. So you're now paying all of your bills $3,000 per month, and you've got that extra $1,000 that you're paying yourself. Okay? You want to do that for, we'll call it 2 to 6 months. That way, if you can do it on a schedule without skipping a beat and you are not stressing at all, then guess what? You can afford that new monthly mortgage. Your life is not going to suck, and you will not be house poor. Now, the other cool thing is you now have money you can take and do what with it? Move from tip number 2 to tip number 3. Tip number 3, you need a down payment. Now, thanks to tip number 2, you actually have a start of a down payment. You've been putting money aside into a bank account, and now you can use that money for your down payment. Now, before I get into exactly how much you need as a down payment, let me share with you this. You've been putting money into a bank account for longer than 2 months, that means that money is now seasoned. So to all of my entrepreneurs, my bartenders, my barbers, folks that do a lot of cash business, you need to start accounting for that money and putting it into your savings account for your house. Why do you need to do that? Well, the banks and the lenders, they see this random cash deposits. It might as well be drug money. So we need to account for where it comes from. We can't just all of a sudden have a $10,000 mattress money deposit into your account. Now, typically, the amount of money that you need to put down for your first home as a first-time home buyer is as little as 3%. Now, that's not a crazy amount of money, and you've been saving for a little bit, and you had some stashed away as well. So you're moving forward as a first-time home buyer. Now, first-time home buyer doesn't mean that this is your very first home. You could also have owned a home in the past, but there are some rules and stipulations to that. Typically, you can't have owned a property in your name in the last 2 years. Now, if you have more questions about that, you can hit me up in the comments below or give us a call or send us an email at citizensfinancial.co and we can help you out with that. Now, I'm going to do a video here pretty soon for all of my entrepreneurs, my small business owners, so I can help you with your cash businesses and small business stuff to help you get your ducks in a row, because it's typically a 2-year process. But for this video, all my first-time home buyers, my W-2 earners, my essential workers, my nurses, my police officers, etc., this video is for you. Now, you have been able to go through step 1. You just need to know you don't want to be house poor. And why? Step number 2, well, now you know you are qualified and that you can actually afford the property and you are not going to be house poor. And 3, tip number 3, you now know where your down payment is coming from and that you have to have a down payment and what that means for you. And all of these things are amazing because we're in a time where there's uncertainty. The stock market's going crazy. There's a worldwide pandemic going on, but look at your situation. How do you know if you should be purchasing a home right now? Are you an essential worker? Do you have a job right now? Are you currently employed? These types of jobs are not going to go away. You can have, you know what, hit the fan. You got shit hit the fan and you're still going to work. Okay? So you know that you have job security and you know that you are going to be able to afford this property that you're staying in. And the best part about it is if you are one that lives in a condominium complex or an apartment complex now and you're paying rent, you should be paying yourself first of all. And I know you can get into, well, what are rates today and how much is this going to cost me as far as my interest rate? Well, what does your health cost you, right? You're paying all those bills now. The property that you live in is not appreciating, okay? You are paying someone else's bills. You are an essential worker. You could be spending time in your home with your family, the people that matter to you most. You can do a lot of fun, cool things with your house that you can't do with your apartment or condo or the place that you're renting right now. You're going to spend a lot of time in this place as we are right now, even though you get to go to work and some people don't. But this is something that builds value for you in your heart, with your family, with your partner, your children. And it's something that is going to help create and start your generational wealth. All right. Here in a few years, houses will go up and down and up and down. I mean, it's a cycle, right? And your house, you'll always win. You're going to eventually make money from your house's appreciation. But that when you live in your own house, you're not making money off that house. If you're renting a house, if you pay for where you live, you're not making money. Okay? So let's not look at it as a money-making investment. This is to keep you and your family safe and healthy, and you have something that you can make your own comfort. All right? So I appreciate you guys watching. if you are still tuned in, do me a huge favor. One, hit the like button, and two, leave me a comment. Tell me what type of job you have now and whether you're employed right now or not. I want to see an emoji in the comments. Put a little healthcare cross or a badge or an EMT icon in the comments, and let me know what you learned from this video. Also, what would you like to learn more about? Please hit me up. I appreciate you watching. And man, I love pumping out these videos, but I want to make sure that I'm giving you guys value. All right. And again, I want to thank all of my folks out there that have essential positions in the world, keeping the world turning, helping us out. From my family to yours, I appreciate you. Please be safe. Wash your hands. Wear a mask if it's available, and make sure just be nice to people. Okay. And be nice to me. Share this video and send it to somebody that has been on the fence or is saying that now is not the time to buy. Okay? The real estate market is slower to react than everything else. You're not going to see much of a huge bargain basement discount. It's typically a 6-month cycle anyways. So the fact that folks that do own a home now, and let's say they lose their job, they have forbearance. So they're not losing their home. Once the world starts ticking again, their job comes back, they can afford to catch up and pay for their house. They're not going to lose their house. And that is a great thing. That is a blessing for all of us to have that ability here in America. So don't overthink and don't be afraid. You want to live in a home? Let us teach you how to do that. If it is not the time for you to do it, great. This isn't a video to argue with anyone to say, hey, you guys should buy now or you should not buy now. This is just to kind of help walk through a lot of the misinformation that is out there, or the opinions that are out there, and mine may differ than yours. So please share the video and share it with an essential worker and tell them thank you. Okay, so it's your boy Nigel, and I'm in the house, but I'm trying to make moves.